The donkey and the camel. There was a donkey and a camel living in a little village. The people of the village used them for all their work, and the poor creatures never rested nor ate properly throughout the day. This made them both very frustrated, and both had the idea to run away. When they had finished their work one evening and were busy eating the little fodder the people gave them, the donkey brought up the subject. You know, he said to the camel, I am tired of this life of working hard all day without rest or decent food to eat. Dear friend, the camel replied, what can we do about it? It is our life. We can at least protest, the donkey remarked. We should not work one of these days. Eat to our fill and then run off somewhere far so that the people can realize our words. What? The camel said in surprise. When did this idea get into your head? Well, you will hear such thing from me if you live with me long enough. The donkey replied, I am now a big donkey and can think for myself. I am serious about running away to some green forest where we can eat from the trees, drink from the river, and enjoy ourselves. The camel then confessed, well, I must tell you that I have thought of this a long while ago, but was afraid about what you would say. Now that you are also prepared to do it, let us run away tomorrow evening. That is fine, the donkey agreed. Let us leave tomorrow night then. However, the camel warned, do not tell anyone about it. You also must remember that you must do as I say when we walk together. If you do as you please, you will cause harm to us both. Do you understand? Of course I understand, the donkey replied. I shall walk with you all the time, do as you say, and do nothing contrary to what you say. The following day, the two got up early, and despite the beating they got from the people, they did very little work so that they could save their energies for the night. When the time came to eat, they ate more than their usual amount and also drank more because they did not know if they would be able to eat and drink that night. As the people beat the donkey that day for not working, he thought to himself, be patient, you people. You think that I am just a stupid animal. Tonight you will learn how big I have become and what I can do when I run away. That evening, they quickly ate their fodder and started to run away from the village. They stopped to drink at the rivers and streams when they grew thirsty but had no time to stop to eat. They bore the hunger because they needed to be as far away as possible by the time the people started to search for them in the morning. By the next morning, they entered a lush and green forest that had streams flowing in it. Out of breath, the donkey said, this looks like an excellent place to stay. It certainly does, the camel agreed, and this became their new home. They lived in a peace and comfort in their new home, which had plenty of vegetation to eat and flowing water to drink. As time went on, they became very happy and fat. One day the donkey said to the camel, dear friend, I am so happy that I wish to shout out in my beautiful voice. However, the camel warned, there is a chance that some human being passing by might hear you and come here to capture you. We will then both end up in the terrible condition we were in. We will be back to carrying heavy loads and being beaten all day long. It is best that you do not allow your beautiful voice to be heard. As I told you before, we need to agree to do what is right. However, the donkey was not prepared to listen. He protested, but I have to release my beautiful voice because I have never before experienced such a joy and happiness. Something might happen me if I do not. He had barely said this when he started to bray loudly and hop about. There happened to be a caravan nearby. When the leader of the caravan heard the noises, he asked the guards, "Do you hear something?" Turning their heads about, the guards said, "Yes, that seems to be the braying of a donkey. We desperately need some donkeys for the caravan, so go and get it for us." The leader instructed the guards. The guards searched the forest in the direction of the sound and eventually discovered the donkey. To their joy, they found a camel as well. They quietly surrounded the two animals so that they would have no way to run and finally pounced on them. The two did not have a chance to escape and were soon bound and brought before the leader. The leader was overjoyed to get two animals to help carry goods. Seeing that they were fat, he immediately instructed that both animals be loaded with extra goods. They were then forced to move along with the other animals in the caravan. As they trudged along the path, the camel scolded the donkey, saying, "Did I not tell you that we need to work together? Life would still have been fine if you had listened, but you had to do what you wanted and landed us back into this mess. Is this fair?" The donkey was too embarrassed to reply and merely walked with his head dropped. The two were not used to working so hard and soon grew very tired. While the camel still managed to walk along wearily, the donkey could not and stood dead still. Try as they may, the people could not get him to budge. "Load that stubborn donkey onto the camel," the leader commanded. "We can sort him out when we reach the city." The people immediately loaded off all the goods that both were carrying and placed the donkey on the camel's back. This made the camel furious, and he said to the donkey, "This is all because you refused to listen to me. This day would have never come if you had listened and not brayed like that. I think I should rather drop you off a cliff if we pass through the mountains." It was not long afterwards that they did come to a mountain. The climb became exceedingly difficult for the poor camel, because the donkey was not light. "Put me down," the donkey said to the camel. "I shall climb the mountain by myself." He had hardly said this when the leader of the caravan also decided to do the same and sent his men to take the donkey off. As the two animals walked side by side, the donkey said, "Let us run off." "Now is not the time," the camel said, "because the path is very narrow and we may slip and fall." When the donkey insisted that they run off, the camel warned, "I have told you before that we need to work together. If we are going to get anywhere, you got us into this trouble for not listening, so don't do it again." However, the donkey was stubborn and suddenly started to bolt down the path. The guards immediately gave chase and darted behind him with the sticks in their hands. The donkey ran as fast as he could through the narrow and winding path until he tripped on a rock and lost his balance. As much as he tried to regain his balance and run on, he could too, and went tumbling down the side of the mountain. The guards then left the chase and went back to join the caravan. Watching his friend tumble down to his death, the camel thought, had he listened even this time, he would still be alive now. However, he did not have much time to mourn his friend's death because he heard the caravan leader shout out for them to move on. He therefore had to leave and proceed along with the rest of the caravan. Dear friends, although this is just a story, the lesson is very important. The story teaches us the importance of working together and following instruction. You should all make the firm intention to always cooperate with your elders and follow their instruction because they know more than us and will always do what is best for us. However, if we fail to do so, we must be prepared to cause ourselves much harm and live with the disgrace that follows.